Welcome to the Veterinary Medicine Loan Repayment Program Overview webinar. I am Bob Smith, a veterinarian and a national program leader for animal health and veterinary medicine at USDA and the National Institute for Food and Agriculture, and the program leader for the VMLRP. This webinar is designed to give you an overview of the VMLRP. I will cover the following items: an overview of the National Institute of Food and Agriculture and the VMLRP, VMLRP eligibility, veterinary shortage situation areas, the application process, a VMLRP summary, and available VMLRP resources to you. On October 1st, 2009, the Secretary of Agriculture established within USDA a new agency called the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, or NIFA, as mandated by Section 7511 of the Food, Conservation, and Energy Act of 2008, also known as the 2008 Farm Bill. NIFA addresses many challenges facing the nation through administration of grants and other forms of financial assistance in support of science-based research, education, and extension programs. NIFA mainly works with basic and applied scientists at universities and colleges throughout the United States and around the world to find innovative solutions to issues related to agricultural, food, and environment and communities. With a timely, integrated approach in collaboration with other federal science agencies, NIFA also serves as a vital contributor to federal science policy decision-making. As part of its agricultural workforce, education, and extension mission responsibilities, NIFA was delegated to administer the VMLRP program and enter into educational loan repayment agreements with veterinarians. The VMLRP was authorized by the National Veterinary Medicine Service Act and helps qualified veterinarians offset a significant portion of the debt incurred in pursuit of their veterinary medicine degrees in return for their service in certain high-priority veterinary shortage situations. NIFA administers a portion of the important act by entering into educational loan repayment agreements with veterinarians who agree to provide veterinary services in shortage situations for a determined period of time. VMLRP awardees commit to at least 3 years of veterinary services in a designated veterinary shortage area. In return, NIFA repays up to $25,000 of student loan debt per year, or a maximum of $75,000 for a 3-year award. Loan repayment benefits are limited to payments of the principal and interest on government and commercial loans received for attendance at an AVMA accredited College of Veterinary Medicine, resulting in a degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine or the equivalent. Since the inception of the VMLRP in fiscal year 2010, we received over 2,000 applications and made awards to over 600 veterinarians across the country. It is important to note that loan repayments under the VMLRP are, legally speaking, not grants. This is why VMLRP applications are not submitted through the common federal portal called grants.gov. There are several aspects about this program that you would not normally find in a grant, such as a review of your personal financial documents and the process to designate veterinary shortage situations for the VMLRP. In summary, VMLRP is a program designed to alleviate high-need areas for food animal veterinary medicine across the United States and territories. As such, qualifying individuals apply to VMLRP to fulfill the needs of a specific veterinary shortage area. Later on in this presentation, we will briefly describe what a veterinary shortage situation is and how it is established. To be eligible to accept the VMLRP award, an applicant must have 1, a DVM or VMD degree from a College of Veterinary Medicine accredited by the AVMA Council on Education. 2, a qualifying educational debt as defined in 7 CFR 3431, Section 3 of the VMLRP regulation. 3, a secure offer of employment or have established and or maintained a practice in a veterinary shortage situation as determined by the Secretary within 90 days after award notification. And 4th, provided certifications and verifications in accordance with 7 CFR 3431, Section 16. A link to the VMLRP regulation is available in the About VMLRP section under General Information of the VMLRP website. We encourage you to review eligibility section in the regulations and contact us if you have questions about your eligibility before you submit your application. The following individuals are not eligible to apply to the VMLRP. 1, an individual who owes an obligation for the veterinary services to the federal government, a state government, or any other entity under an agreement with such federal, state, and/or entity, unless such an obligation has been completely satisfied prior to the beginning of service under the VMLRP. 2, an individual who has a federal judgment lien against his or her property arising from federal debt. And 3rd, an individual who has total qualified debt that does not meet the debt threshold of $15,000. Identifying areas experiencing shortages of food animal veterinary service is one of the primary goals of the VMLRP. Therefore, at the beginning of each fiscal year, which is October 1st, the VMLRP solicits nominations of veterinary shortage situation areas by state animal health officials called SAHO. Each state, the federal government, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories such as Puerto Rico are allocated a maximum number of shortage nominations for submission. NIFA determines the maximum number to allocate to each entity based on data from the most recent USDA National Agricultural Statistics Service Census of Agriculture. The reasoning behind the use and development of the allocation table provided in the allocation table and rationale webpage. NIFA accepts all veterinary shortage area nominations after a non-competitive review by a panel of food animal veterinary medical professionals. Each veterinary shortage nomination provides details of the geographic area where veterinary services are needed, agricultural species that must and may be served, and specific activities and services which need to be provided to those species. Each year, we update a map of our webpage that includes all veterinary shortage situation areas eligible for application in a given fiscal year. We will provide more detail regarding how to navigate our veterinary shortage situation map in the Choosing a Veterinary Shortage Situation Area webinar. There are 3 types of veterinary shortage situations areas. Type 1 nominations are designated for a private practice and are not necessarily located in rural areas. Type 1 shortages require a minimum 80% full-time equivalent, or FTE, for 32 hours for a 40-hour week dedicated to the service described for the species located in the counties listed in the nomination form. All type 2 nominations are in rural areas and are designated for private practice. Type 2 shortage require a minimum of 30% FTE or 12 hours a week dedicated to the service described for the species located in the counties listed on the nomination form. Type 3 nominations are designated for public veterinary practice. Type 3 shortage require a minimum of 49% or 19.6 hours a week dedicated to the service described for activities listed in the nomination form. Because there is no program like the VMLRP and the USDA, the application process was tailor-made for this program from its inception in 2010. While it remains the program's goal to have an online application system in place, NIFA continues with paper applications at this time. Comments and feedback are always welcome, and they are helpful as we continue to make adjustments to our administrative process. Key dates may change from year to year, so it is always best to refer to the current request for applications, or RFA, that is posted at the beginning of each application cycle. The RFA is a formal document that invites applications in a well-defined area to accomplish specific program objectives. The RFA includes important information such as instructions on how to complete and submit an application, the amount of funds set aside for competition, the established number of awards to be made, and the deadline for submitting an application. The VMLRP RFA is available on the VMLRP website. You can directly access the RFA by clicking on the link you see in the slide. The RFA provides a detailed description of each step in the application. As such, we highly recommend that you review the RFA before you start the application process. An applicant's failure to meet an eligibility criterion or comply with the requirement outlined in the RFA may result in the application being excluded from consideration, or even though an application may be reviewed, will preclude NIFA from making an award. VMLRP is a competitive program. There is no way to know how many applicants will apply to fill the same shortage situation area. There are two requirements for an applicant to receive an award offer from the VMLRP. First, an application has to be ranked above the overall fund cutoff line by the external review panel, which is mainly based on the availability of congressional appropriated funds. Second, unless indicated otherwise, in the nomination form, each shortage situation is limited to one award. Thus, an application also has to be ranked the highest among all applications identifying the same designated veterinary shortage situation in order to receive an award offer. In other words, it is possible for an application to be ranked above the funding cutoff by the review panel, but not be offered an award. Applicants should also be aware that Congress has stipulated that VMLRP must emphasize private food animal practice shortage areas or situations. Accordingly, NIFA anticipates that loan repayment awards for the public practice sector, or Type 3 awards, will be limited to approximately 10% of available funds. Again, financial needs of the applicant are not relevant, except to the extent that applicants must have eligible educational debt. This is a national program intended to bolster production of food, agriculture, and public health national infrastructures. There is no obligation to place a certain number of veterinarians in each state or region. As such, each applicant is competing nationally against all other applicants for available awards. We want to remind you that there are a variety of resources available for more information about the program and your guidance as you put your application together. The RFA will be your best resource for instructions and details to include in your application. The recorded applications webinar provide important information on the application process. Our annual reports include detailed information about previous years. Our fact sheet provides an overview of the program. We have an example map on our webpage for applicants to reference. And finally, the application guide is a checklist that complements the RFA. Lastly, our VMLRP team is a resource for you. We truly enjoy connecting with applicants and welcome the opportunity to answer your questions, meet with you virtually, or speak with you over the phone. We are available upon request. Please feel free to reach out via email at vmlrp@usda.gov or use the contact information located in the RFA. Thank you.